Good evening. It's 9 p.m. here in South Korea. Thank you for joining us on Arirang News. We start with a possible summit between South Korean President Yoon Suk Yeol and Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida, which could take place as early as next week. This follows Seoul's decision yesterday of compensating Korean victims of Japanese wartime forced labor with its own fund rather than Japanese accused companies. President Yoon reiterates that this is for future-oriented cooperation between the two countries. Our presidential office correspondent Oh Soo-young starts us off.
Seoul's plan to compensate the Korean victims of Japan's wartime forced labor is intended to respect the wishes of the victims while pursuing co-prosperity with Tokyo. That's according to President Yoon Suk Yeol, who stressed again on Tuesday the need to look beyond long-standing differences that have marred bilateral ties for decades, amid opposition by domestic groups calling for a more sufficient apology and reparations from Japan. Presiding over a cabinet meeting, Yoon reiterated his March 1st message that Japan has become a cooperative partner that shares common values with South Korea. He also added that the neighbors' future-oriented ties would not only help the two nations, but also the rest of the world in protecting freedom, peace and prosperity. That said, he called on each ministry to work with its counterparts in Japan to support businesses and civilian exchanges. With bilateral relations on the mend, the leaders of South Korea and Japan are looking likely to engage in back-to-back summits in the coming weeks to advance their trilateral cooperation with the United States. Japanese media, quoting diplomatic sources, say Yoon is likely to visit Tokyo next Thursday and Friday, before Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida sets off for Germany, and before the South Korean president holds a summit with Joe Biden next month. Seoul, Washington and Tokyo have been joining hands to improve regional and economic security against challenges such as North Korea's growing nuclear threat and geopolitical rifts affecting the production of key emerging technologies. For now, President Yoon's office said the date for a bilateral with Japan has not been fixed, and the two sides need to hold discussions to settle the matter. Given the mood of rapprochement between Seoul and Tokyo, observers will closely watch whether Kishida will invite South Korea to the Group of Seven meeting taking place in Hiroshima in May, as well as the possibility of a trilateral summit that month with President Biden. Oh Soo-young, Arirang News.